We are 1 week away from Broncos Seahawks, and I cannot wait for the Bo Nix era to get underway. So on today's episode, we are going to run through a complete preview, get you guys ready for this game, along with some keys to victory. So Sean, I know you're watching. Get a pen and paper, write this down. But really quickly, help us take down the Seahawks channel across the board. Likes, comments, and subscribers as we go head-to-head with them all week here at Chat Sports. Let's defeat Seahawks today. They've got more subscribers than us right now in the last 7 days, but I know you guys can take them down. Now, a quick refresher on both teams' off seasons as we all get ready for a brand new season. The Broncos have made some notable additions. First-round pick, rookie quarterback Bo Nix, Josh Reynolds from the Detroit Lions, defensive end John Franklin Myers from the Jets in a trade, safety Brandon Jones via free agency out of Miami. As for the Seahawks, they have a brand new head coach, Mike MacDonald, who was the DC for the Ravens. First-round pick out of Texas, defensive tackle Byron Murphy, and then a couple of linebackers, Dodson and Baker, who fill shoes for some notable losses for the Seahawks. Bobby Wagner goes to the Commanders, Jordan Brooks goes to the Dolphins. But as for Denver, they obviously move on from Russell Wilson. They trade Jerry Jeudy away. Josie Jewell walks in free agency. Justin Simmons is released and recently signed with Atlanta. And now for the Pacific Northwest, Pete Carroll was semi-retired, semi-pushed out, and Jamal Adams, and I can toss in Quandre Diggs also leaving the secondary. So a very new look for Denver. I mean, a brand new quarterback in Bo Nix. Your second receiver for the last 4 seasons, Jerry Jeudy, is no longer there. The leading tackler for this team for the last couple of years, Josie Jewell, is gone. And then the number one playmaker on this defense in terms of takeaways, Justin Simmons, is off the team as well. So there's going to be a lot of new faces, and there's going to be a little bit of growing pains, plus new jerseys altogether. So a lot of new going on for Denver, but same goes for Seattle. New head coach, you got a couple new pieces on defense. There's going to be a lot of newness to this game for both sides. Now, let's just run through both teams' offenses last year, which are going to be different this year, but this kind of gives you a decent starting point as to what each team needs to work on or improve on from last year. When I look at Denver, the number one thing they got to work on is just yardage, right? They got to move the ball down the field, which is what was so frustrating at times last year with Russell Wilson when it came to the sacks and that killing drives. Seattle's offense, they were very good at protecting the football. They were 5th best in the NFL at turnovers, just 17. However, their red zone and third down offense and percentages just not cutting it. Bottom 10, bottom half of the NFL. Now, as for the defensive side of the football, we know that Broncos 70 burger that the Dolphins put up on them really tanked a lot of their averages. But despite that, they were able to finish just half a point pretty much behind the Seattle Seahawks in points allowed, and even had better yards allowed than Seattle. In fact, the Seahawks defense is going under a major turnaround with DC Mike MacDonald there trying to repair what was a 30th ranked total yards and third down percentage and 25th points allowed. Takeaways, though, that was the big moneymaker for the Broncos last year. 26 takeaways. That was top half in the NFL, which actually provides us with a nice segue into our first key to victory for the Broncos. Takeaways is going to be a huge battle in this game and ultimately may be the deciding factor. Which team wins the turnover battle? So my first key to victory is win the turnover battle. I mean, we saw last year how important that was to Denver's success. When they got hot in that middle portion of the season, it was not largely fueled. It was 100% fueled by the defense providing all those takeaways from the Bills game, the Chiefs game, the Packers game, the Vikings game. Last year, Denver went 8-1 when winning the turnover battle. The only game they didn't win was Week 1 against Jimmy Garoppolo and the Raiders. However, they went 0-8 when losing the turnover battle. They were way too much on the margins, on the polar opposites or polar ends of turnovers. They were desperate for turnovers for wins, and in the moment they turned the ball over, it felt like they were doomed because they just didn't have the offensive stability to overcome even just one mistake of an interception or a fumble. They got to get away from being this extreme in takeaways and turnovers. They got to find something a little bit closer to the middle where if they lose the turnover battle, they're not just dead. Now, what's your confidence level for this team going into the season? Scale it 1 to 10 for me in the comment section below. For me, I'd put it at a 6.6. 6.6 out of 10. I want to know what your confidence level is, though. Don't be a stranger. Chime in for me down below. Second key to victory, get Bo Nix comfortable. Now, this is a little bit of a Captain Obvious speak here because who doesn't want to get their rookie quarterback comfortable? But I think it's especially true for rookies. Bo Nix in particular here on the road against the Seahawks, because I look back since 2010. Rookie quarterbacks who start week 1 are 6-18-1. Now, not great, but not too surprising, right? You start a rookie week 1, there are probably going to be some mistakes, and the other team is probably going to capitalize on those mistakes. Now, I looked at the 6 winning quarterbacks since 2010 of all rookie QBs. You got Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota, Geno Smith, RG3, Andy Dalton. Of course, none of these quarterbacks are on their same team anymore. But if you notice anything amongst all 6 quarterbacks here, we got 6 guys who have combined for just 2 interceptions. And also, they didn't really lean on them too much. Mariota, Dalton, 15 pass attempts. Darnold, 21. Like, Wentz and Geno got some more runway, but for the most part, these teams did not ask their rookies to do too much for them. So when I look at what they need to do to help Bo Nix be successful in week 1, establish the run, get Javonte Williams going so you don't go out there and say, Bo, we're going to need 35 pass attempts from you and not a single one can get picked off. And don't overload Bo Nix, right? Get the run game going with your 3-headed monster in Javonte Williams, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Audric Estime. And then when it comes to Bo Nix's plate, don't put too much on it. Like, you don't have to baby him, but I think asking Bo Nix to go out there and go 30 or 25 for 35 and throw the ball that much is probably just going to increase the possibility of a mistake happening. And for his first NFL start, maybe lessen the workload a little bit, right? Ramp him up as the weeks go along, but I would not just toss him out there week 1 and say, hey, we're going to have you drop back 30 times. Hopefully you don't get sacked, and we're going to be throwing the football 35 times. Hopefully you don't throw an interception. Let's reduce those numbers right there, lean more into the run, and I think this offense is going to be a well-oiled machine. Third and final key to victory for Sean Payton, out-scheme and out-box the opponent. This one is just for Sean Payton because Broncos country knows, unfortunately, all too well that opening up the season in Seattle is not always a good outcome. However, Sean Payton is 23-8 against rookie head coaches all time. That's right. I went all the way back to his first season in New Orleans in 2006, and I counted every single game against a rookie head coach, and he is 23-8 all time, which is an absurd number. Like, that is 10 points higher, 100 points higher than his career win percentage. So the only thing Sean Payton needs to do in this game is just rewatch the Broncos Seahawks game from 2022 and do everything the opposite. Do not repeat the Nathaniel Hackett experience in week 1 in Seattle. Don't trot out Brandon McManus for like a 65-yard field goal. Don't take your timeouts home with you and let the last minute of clock burn down before calling a timeout with like 15, 20 seconds left. Like, just whatever Hackett did last time in Seattle, simply do the opposite, and you are likely going to be a much more successful head coach. So who you got? Broncos or Seahawks? Let me know. Give me a B for Denver or an S for Seattle. Sean Payton going up against first-year head coach Mike MacDonald. He's got to make him pay with his wisdom and his experience that MacDonald does not have. My prediction for this game, Broncos win it 20-18. I've gone back and forth on this one a little bit, but you know what? Give me a week 1 win. There is no better feeling in the NFL than starting off 1-0. So I'll take the Broncos in a narrow victory over the Seattle Seahawks. How about a Will Lutz late field goal winner, making it 20-18? All right, that will do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe if you are not already. Help us beat the Seahawks channel in subscribers. Hit that like button if you have not already as well, and we'll see you all next time.